How's it going, everybody? I'm Quimby with Mirth Films, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to grip a skateboard.
Hey, skate rat!
Today we got a nice seasoned skate shop skateboard. Always good to rep your local skate shops. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you want to make horizontal cuts on your skateboard with the razor blade. That way your grip tape stays on it much better. So what we're gonna do is take our blade and we're just gonna slowly make some diagonal cuts along the top of the board. Be cautious to not cut yourself. Razor blades are sharp and you never wanna get an injury before you go skateboarding. So now that we have our little crisscross pattern on top of the board, it's not nice and smooth anymore, it's got some grip. The grip tape will hold well to that. Today we have some Jessup grip tape. I'm a big fan of Jessup. I also like using Grizzly grip tape. That's what I have on mine with a little bear. And I like Jessup and Grizzly mainly because it's got good grip, but it's not too grippy. Obviously our grip tape is a little squirrely. So we're gonna be extra cautious when putting it on. You don't want any air bubbles. So we're gonna start by unpeeling half of it, starting at the top, and you wanna make sure you're all lined up. So it looks like we're good. And so I'm going to pat down as I'm going down the board to make sure I don't have any air bubbles. And to make sure that everything sticks nice. And now if you don't do this perfectly, that is a-okay. If you have a couple air bubbles, we will be going through and pushing those out. And I'll show you how to even take care of a real big air bubble if you end up getting one. Like I actually might have one over here. All right, so now we are coming to the end. Oh. So now we got ourselves a good old rectangle. So before we move any further, we want to make sure we can push out as many air bubbles as we can. So you're going to take the back of your grip tape, push it on down, and then really smooth it out. Really make sure the grip's on there. It's good if you want to work from the middle out. That way any air bubbles won't get trapped in there. And now you might be like, Doug, I tried this, you know, it wasn't as easy as you made it look. I got a huge air bubble just right in the middle of my board, and I don't want to unpeel my grip tape. It's stuck on there really, really well. What do? Don't worry, I'm gonna tell you. So say you have a big old bubble right in the middle. All you would need to do, let me see if I have any. I do not. But all you would need to do if you had an air bubble, like in any spot of your board, just take your razor blade, make a little hole on top of the bubble, and that'll basically help the air escape out and you can make it nice and flat. Jesus fucking Christ. So now, once we got our grip tape on there, we're gonna wanna file it down. Now I have a little skate tool. You could use even just like a screwdriver, like the head of it, or you could even use one of these, but plastic doesn't really work great. Metal is your best move. And what you're gonna wanna do is basically go around the edge of the board, making this white line. When it's got that color, that means it's got a good connection to the board. And you wanna take your time, you wanna make sure you really do this good, because if you do this well, you can cut the whole grip tape out in one single cut. Now I got the board basically all lined out with the file. And definitely one area you want to make sure you get real well is right in the pocket of the board at the nose and tail, because those parts dip down, so you want to make sure you got a nice good grip there. So once we have our outline done, we got it's all filed down, We'll take our razor blade and we will start cutting. Now you want to cut from underneath the board. So we'll go ahead, get our blade out, and you'll find that once your blade pops through, it's going to pop out basically right where you're filing down, and that's where you want it to be. Now I kind of normally lean the blade a little bit more towards the skateboard. That way I'm not leaving extra like bits of grip tape out. Now this definitely is a pretty hard task. You just want to be careful while you're doing it because you're working with something that is very, very sharp and you don't want to hurt yourself. But basically this, because we file down the edges of the board, it makes cutting it actually easier, surprisingly. And this is definitely not a race. You can take your time when doing this. I always do. And you know, if you're struggling at one area, just attack it from another side. So obviously it might not come out perfect, but any of those we're gonna sand down and make those nice and smooth. That way your grip tape doesn't come up in those spots. So now with the excess that you cut off, you don't want to throw that out yet. You want to basically get rid of the stickiness on it by sticking the sticky sides together and then going around and sanding the rest of it down. Now you could use the file, whatever you did to file around the edge of the board, but might as well reduce, reuse, recycle. Oh, so you want to inspect your board after that, and basically why we wanted to sand down the edge of it was so it was a nice smooth edge. That way when you're using your board, it's not starting to come up on the edges. You want to do a nice little inspection. This is looking like it came out pretty well. I thought I saw a little air bubble over here, but I do not. So it looks like that came out pretty well. I mean, obviously little hang-ups on the edge, but that's always smooth those down. Those are not going to give you any issues. And so the next thing would be basically you go from the bottom and poke holes basically from the inside out. That way you know where to put your screws, and then you can put the rest of your board together. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please give us a like and subscribe. And if you want to see any tips like this in the future, please let us know below.